Hello guys, Foxy here, and this will be part 9 of Naruto was a was an untamed werewolf. Part 9, remember. Either way, I'm excited. And yada yada. Let's get on with the video, shall we? Naruto's POV. I see, a redhead and a blondie in front of me. They, look around my age, or the age where they're supposed to be. Me, sadly, I have not hit my growth spurt yet. What a sad, sad day. Or year, or actually I can't remember. Whatever. Hello, Naruto. I'm Naruto, the blonde-haired girl said. And this is my brother, Nari. The video cut out on me. No. Shoot. Okay. Okay, it's working. Either way, back onto the video. I gave, the twins a blank look. Then I went back to growling at them, and they looked sad. This is annoying, I thought. But very good for me, because I found out how to get out of my blanket. No, not mine. The blanket. It was not mine. I just needed to wait for our opportunity. After a couple minutes, the twins turned around and was talking to somebody. The person had, silver hair that leaned to one side, and he was reading, an orange book. I couldn't really read that well since I was never taught. Kurama tried to teach me, but since she and I were more focused on strength and jutsus, I never got to really learn it. More of just small parts, but nothing much. And once the twins turned their backs on me, I jumped. I tore the blanket off me and jumped over the railing, landing on the ground. And I ran into the forest, weaving and ducking over the trees and fallen trees. And I can hear everybody shout, "Naruto, come back! Hey, Naruto!" and a bunch of other things. I continued to run, but I realized I was going slower than usual. Why is this? But I pushed that thought away and took a deep breath, focusing on my surroundings, connecting with nature. I pushed my senses as high as I could go. Feel the vibrations, the wind, smells, everything. And in a matter of seconds, I transformed into my red wolf. And I dashed, faster than I was before, ducking, weaving, jumping over logs, tree branches, rocks, boulders, and a bunch of other other opponents. I was so close. I couldn't smell or hear them. I ran and ran. Having the wind hit my fur, it felt amazing. I felt so free. Finally, I could be in nature. In my mindscape, I couldn't hear or smell. I couldn't smell or feel. But here, I could do all of that. Since one of the things Kurama has taught me was when you want to turn into your wolf, you need to connect with nature, she said. And look where it got me in my wolf form. But I was tackled. I don't know, I didn't recognize what I was tackled by. But I growled and tried to bite. But the thing slid all around my body, locking my back legs together, then crawled up my waist, over my stomach, then around my front paws, pushing them against my belly. I started to tumble forward. I growled and tried to turn. Somehow I was able to bite down on something. But it just poofed. I sighed and recognized the smell. Snake. I got up as quickly as I could, but it didn't really work. A couple dozen snakes came out of nowhere, wrapping themselves around me, tying my back and front legs together, and they started to squeeze all around my body, my ribs, hips, legs, neck. And for the very first time in my life, I was afraid. The one thing I have ever been afraid of, or I'm afraid of a couple of things, but this one was being smushed alive, being crushed. I never liked that. I started to whimper. I felt insulted by myself. Why whimper? There's no use in it. But, well, my animal side whimpered. My tail went between my legs and my ears folded backwards. Then a couple snakes went around my muzzle and, well, tied it. My muzzle was closed shut. They wrapped around my head, neck, muzzle, and in a matter of seconds, they would crush my body into pieces, one limb at a time. First, my back legs, then my waist, then my ribs, then finally, then my muzzle, then my neck. I was scared. My whimpers got louder. I closed my eyes, waiting for the crushing pain. But nothing happened. Instead, they just slithered around, making sure I couldn't move. Then I felt someone patting my head. I slowly cracked one eye open and saw it was the girl I fought in the arena. She's still alive. That is annoying. Bad puppy, you shouldn't run away, she said while scratching behind my ear. It felt strangely good, but I bit down any emotion that can pop up from that. Happiness or any of that stupid dog stuff. I tried to growl, but the squeezing warning told me not to growl. Now, since you've been a bad puppy, you have to be punished. My tail somehow went further between my legs, and my ears went, well, completely folded. I tried to bite back any whimpers, but, well, that didn't really work. A long, drawn-out whimper came out of me. She pulled something out, and guess what? A muzzle. The snakes retracted, and before I could bite down or snap at her, the muzzle was already around my mouth. It was already around. Okay, I forgot. The thing was already around my muzzle. And promptly tied very tight around me. Now, since we're going to stop and get some water and food, Kushina and I will give you a bath. Oh, no. I thought we'll try to backpedal and growl or do something. When I got a bath, I usually die from it, being drowned and somehow electrocuted. Don't worry, puppy. We're not going to hurt you. You're just going to get yourself cleaned up. Uncle's POV. I felt a little bad. After I said punishment, he whimpered. His tail and ears somehow folded, or his tail went further between his legs, and his ears folded backwards. But he didn't submit. I know when Kushina told me about wolves and how they do things, Naruto should have actually flopped on his back and having his paws up in the air and whimpered, showing that he submitted. But no. Whatever. But when I said, bath, he started to backpedal. Then, thanks to my snakes, he couldn't really backpedal. And he went on to a whimpering show. And, along with a few growls and barks. I started to drag him to the river. Well, he sat on his haunches, making it very hard for me to actually move him. Kushina, can you help me out with your pup? I said while folding my arms. Sure thing, she said while turning into her wolf. She, in her wolf form, was red. Nothing really in it. No blonde or black streaks. Unlike Naruto, she was just a red wolf with purple eyes. She picked Naruto up by his scruff and carried. The thing did it again. It cut out on me. Dang it. Either way, back onto the video. Kushina picked Naruto up by his scruff and carried him to the river. We tried to bathe him, but it really didn't work. He kept making a hissy fit about it. How do we bathe him if he keeps doing this? Then, in a matter of seconds, we got an idea. After 30 minutes, Naruto is now unable to move. His legs were tied down, and his neck was, well, basically he couldn't really move at all. Okay, Uncle, you bathe him. I have to watch over Nari and Naruto. They tend to get in a lot of trouble. I nodded. Oh, and here, this is what you will need, she said while she transformed back into human form. She was quite a beautiful woman. Also, I forgot to mention. Never mind. Never mind. Quite a beautiful woman. Then she handed me a backpack. Need to go, she said while putting on her clothes and walking off. I looked towards Naruto, and Naruto growled at me, trying to attack, but he really couldn't. I pulled everything out, and there was a lot. A few blankets, towels, shampoo, conditioner, but there were 2 different sets, and each note said 1 or 2. And with the ones, I guessed these are what I need to use first. Then a brush for dogs, and a few other things we'll need, along with nail clippers, a toothbrush, and a few other things. I looked at the shampoo and conditioner bottles with number 1 on them. Tick and flea shampoo. Then I decided to get close to Naruto. And at that moment, he growled and tried to bite me. But in his predicament, he couldn't really move at all. Maybe his tail, but hey, there's nothing much you can do with a tail. And I digged through his fur and indeed found ticks and fleas and a bunch of other parasites. I even saw a worm. I felt sad, and I scratched behind his ear. You poor baby, you're being eaten alive, I said. And the only thing that came out from him was a whimper. And looking at Naruto's size, he's around my height. And he's skin and bone, except for his back legs. I poured a handful of shampoo in my hand and thought, you know what, that won't be good enough. So I poured the entire bottle all over. There were 3 bottles of the shampoo. And I went to scratching and pulling off the ticks. After 2 hours, ticks and fleas were all gone. But the once white soap was now filled with dirt, grime, ticks, and fleas. I felt really bad. I used a water jutsu to wipe away all the soap, leaving Naruto a soaking mess. His fur was soaked to the brim, and his fur covered his eyes. Naruto growled, and I can tell he was trying to shake, but he really couldn't. I grabbed a brush, the dog brush that Kushina gave me. The brush, this was made for ticks, fleas, and anything else. I start to brush Naruto's hair, or fur to be more exact. And I pulled out all the water I could and started to get rid of the worms. After all of that was done, since now Naruto is bug and free from all this chaos, I can tell he felt a lot better. Then I grabbed the shampoo bottle, the one without the fleas or anything else, and started to wash him down. And at some point, he started to purr. I got to his tail and started to wash that out. No. I know. No, I went to his face. I didn't really get a good look at it first, for the first time when I met him, because, well, he was trying to bite me. After I brushed the fur out from his face, I could really see it. He was a very, very cute little guy. He was just, well, raised in a bad situation. A really, really bad situation. I scratched under his chin. Then I went, well, to where the whiskers were, and after one swipe, he started to purr and his tail went back and forth, like a happy pooch. I looked into Naruto's eyes. Shock and surprise was filled in them. I wonder what Naruto's thinking. But I just shrugged and went to the conditioner. After another couple hours, Naruto was a fully groomed mutt. The toenails were a disaster, or was a complete mess for me since Naruto kept moving around. But don't get me started on his mouth. Sheesh, that stuff is horrible. But since I popped a few mints and brushed his teeth out, his breath no longer stinks. Oh, thank the Lord. But the junk in there? Sheesh. There's a man's skeleton in there. No, not skeleton. A arm in there that was, well, you know what I mean. A couple of fish hooks? How the heck did you get fish hooks in your mouth? And a few other things. But after I was done pulling all of them out, Naruto was a happy pooch. And after I used, well, kind of a fire jutsu on him. Not really a fire jutsu, no fire comes out, just really hot wind. And now he is a fluffy wolf. I mean, so fluffy I want to jump on him and snuggle him to death. I walked over to him and said, "You know, you still have a punishment." Naruto just growled at me, and I just shrugged. I put a collar and a leash around his neck and started to drag him. Naruto didn't move. I went to his side, or more of his back area, and slapped him on the butt. Naruto let out a yip, or maybe a surprised squeak, and started to run. I had to quickly plant my feet on the ground for me not to be dragged into the forest. I said, well, somehow mustering up all the strength to drag him. I try not to use all my strength I have. But this little guy is making it really hard for me. So, I used all my strength to pull him. One of the reasons why I didn't use my strength was because I didn't want to hurt or damage his fur. Once we got to the carriage, I strapped Naruto in where the horses were. For your punishment, Naruto, you have to walk us back to Konoha. Naruto tilted his head to the right. His ears flopped to the side. Oh my lord, he is cute. I scratched under his chin. Or tried to, but the muzzle got in the way. I forgot the name for it. But the thing blocking Naruto from biting me prevented me from doing that, so I went to his ears. Now if you'd be a good boy, you would get something special. Naruto gave me a blank look and sat down on his haunches. Do I really need to do this? And guys, this will be the ending of part 9. Love you.